I know, producer Nick and I are like, this is not our music. It's like a little jazz studio in here. I got to get a beret or something. And some beatnik glasses. All right, that Marty Q is talented, though. I saw you, producer Nick, laughing. You're like, what is this? All right, so fiscal cliff. Ferris, where are you with your brilliant knowledge? Some people say 30%. Some people are saying 27%. It's basically a Band-Aid. We only avoided it by the skin of our teeth. It was called the DOC, D-O-C, short for doctor, fix. Pretty soon, doctors are going to stop taking Medicare. They can't survive on 60%. A reasonable and customary rate for a reimbursement rate for a facility or a physician is about 80% to 83%, depending on how much you get beat up. So you see in the paper all the time about the contract negotiations with the hospitals, and Waterbury Hospital's having trouble with United Healthcare. St. Mary's Hospital's with United Healthcare. Chad Wabel, president and CEO, gave a fantastic speech yesterday. And he said they're going to have to either succumb and merge with someone. It's just not possible to survive on your own because the pay cuts are, instead of 80, they're getting 60% to 63%. Don't quote me on the 3%. I'm only human. But you can't go to McDonald's, order a hamburger or whatever the popular one is, the Big Mac. Pay your fee. It's probably, $4 for a Big Mac these days. I don't eat at McDonald's, but you can't get a 60% burger. You're expected to get the burger wrapped in the thing and 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. You're not going to get 2 all-beef patties and nothing else. I mean, 60 to 63% reimbursed to the physician or hospital. It's just not possible to survive. So the fiscal cliff is saying that we have avoided it this one time, but they're looking at serious cuts. And the funny thing is, the largest growing population is the baby boomers and the Medicare generation. So as you know, it's near and dear to my heart because it actually helps pay my bills. So thank you to all the clients out there that purchased from G.S. Regan Associates during annual election period. I was sincerely honored that you do listen to the show. It was really nice. We have a major YouTube following, and I have to tell you, we're over like 2,000 hits, and I don't do dancing cats. I actually do kind of nerdy content. So for the fact that we have these numbers, producer Nick has to take all the credit for it. He's brilliant. Guy works his butt off on him late into the night. I'll get texts at like 10 o'clock at night. He's like, how did you spell that guest phone-in's phone number? So for the people that actually bought from me by Googling me on YouTube, and you know who you are out there in Beacon Falls, what a compliment. I mean, Nick, I owe you $100 commission on that sale. He's like, well, I watch you. And I'm like, you do? He's like, yeah, I turn all my friends onto it. He's like, we have parents. Hopefully my friends at the Agency on Aging are going to call in a little after 1:30. They've got some exciting stuff. Let's go down to the one thing I would like to deviate a little bit from Medicare, and that's just a heartfelt, sincere condolence to Sandy Hook Elementary School and the entire town of Newtown. I was down visiting a client down in New Jersey, and it's a client who owns a chain of bicycle stores. And Wednesday morning, I get up, go to work. Wednesday afternoon, go to the board meeting at the museum. Then get in the car around 3 o'clock and drive down to New Jersey. We get down, we have a pizza, a couple beers, and we're going to do business the next day. I wake up in the morning, and my friend Nick from California texts me. He's like, oh, so sorry to hear about Newtown. Newtown, Watertown. I live in Watertown. I have 8-year-old third graders. That hit way too close to home. I was bawling my eyes out in the car driving back. As soon as I heard it, I put on. I couldn't get WATR on my radio from New Jersey, so I had to listen to the competition. I guess it was NPR, but I try not to ever put that on. I'm only joking. So I put the radio on and I hear it, and honestly, my heart goes out to everyone. I've been seeing a lot of outpour of love, and I must commend the outpour. One thing they don't need is another teddy bear. They need their children back. It's just a tragedy. It should not have happened. I pride myself on the fact that we do not allow my children to play video games. But again, the video games didn't do it. Whatever the game is, Larry Rifkin had a guest on today talking about the video game. The guns didn't do it. It was the person. Guns, the right to bear arms, that is an American thing. The magazine count, that's ridiculous. That's got to get cut back. I am an insurance agent. I am not a law officer. I have no comment on this, and I should not comment. So the right to bear arms, freedom of speech, that's all well and done. But someone overstepped their boundaries with the freedom of speech. And shame on you down in Boca Raton. There was a professor at a college down there who just spoke again, even after the first mistake, and it was disgusting. Barbara Davitt, my friend and colleague, would love that I'm not swearing here or saying anything, but that was piss poor, rude, and should not be tolerated. I know that the college did not fire the gentleman. I can at least pinpoint it to that. Should not have been allowed to speak like that and should have to retract it nationally. Said something about our town that it was somehow construed for gun control. No way. No way. And I hate to admit this. I am a bit of a Republican, and I always have voted Republican. I have a beautiful teacher, Democratic teacher. I love Senator Hartley, which is on the Democratic side, so I'm really not a hardcore right Republican. I'm just more of a business owner who pays a lot of taxes. But I do commend, and I hate to say it, but he did a phenomenal job. President Obama, how he came to our aid and put politics aside and just was compassionate. He handled it very well. I'm impressed with that. And Governor Malloy, you are a stud. I know you're going to be a guest speaker at the Harold Webster Smith Award. If you ever have a flat tire and you break down in Greenwich, you give me a call. I will drive down and pick you up. You handled that like the leader of Connecticut should have. You are a man's man. I don't even care now about the taxes and what you're doing. The fact that you were our governor and you stepped up and you did it like you did, that's what we need. You are a leader. I saw you bawling your eyes out because you had to tell parents of the loss of their children. No one wanted to do that. And as I'm telling you, it hit way too close to home. The word town at the end of town, Newtown, Watertown, my wife teaches in Southbury, and it was just too close for home, and that kind of mass child slaughtering shouldn't happen. It was innocent. There was no correlation, no tie, no nothing. It was just pure evil. And my heart goes out to you. One tip, I've been thinking about this a lot, is I think you're wearing some kind of, and producer, help me out on this. It's a green ribbon they're wearing to show solidarity. Take all of the stuffed animals, put a green ribbon on them, and sell them to go towards more of your $8.2 million fund. I love the fact that Stanford is going to name the school after Soto. And sell the teddy bears. I'll buy one for $100 because it would go to a good cause. Stop sending the teddy bears. They don't need any teddy bears. They need their children back. That can't happen. So what we can do as a country and as a community is reach out with what we can to support the rebuilding of the Newtown. And hopefully someone's listening to me in Newtown, or if not, if anyone has any ties, sell the teddy bears you're getting, put a green ribbon on it. We can easily get Joann Fabrics or one of the large fabric stores to donate enough green ribbon. It'll represent Newtown, anything with a green ribbon on it, and I will buy it. I'll buy one for every one of my employees as well. That's how you give back. All right, enough of that. It's actually making me a little sad, and I don't want to cry on the YouTube page. Okay. Asked all the time in the boardroom. Okay, well, I'm considering retiring. People don't realize when they're high-income earners, single earners making over $85,000, married filing jointly is over $170,000. So I'm lucky enough to be in the boardroom yesterday, and the client, no names, male or female, says, you know, I'm considering retiring. I do my homework, so-and-so, born in 1944. Clearly over 65. Has credible coverage, so there won't be any penalties on Part D. But the client's income is so high, you must look at this. And this book is teaching me a lot, by the way. There's an equilibrium that you have to work a number of quarters, and then when you get to it, the best time to collect your Social Security check is around 66 2/3. Now it's creeping up because our retirement age is 67. It's going to be 67 to 69-year-old for the younger ones like Johnny K, Nick, and I. Well, Nick, you're much younger than me, but Johnny K and I are the same age. So for our age bracket, it's going to have to be full retirement age, which is 67. Sad, but true. So I'm pretty much never going to retire. I'm just going to go down to about 20 hours a week. Hopefully the boys will have some interest in insurance, and they will take over the agency. If something happens to me, Jean, my right-hand coworker, hopefully she will be able to run it and pass it down to her family. So either way, I am doing some succession planning. But the Part B, as in boy, you must have income under 85 single, 170,000 jointly for it to be 10490. Did everyone see the pay raise or pay cut in this case in your Social Security check? $5 is 5%. So if anyone's collecting Social Security, it went down your paycheck by $5. Why? Because you're now paying more for Part B, as in boy or babe for you ladies listening out there. Part B will cost you now $104.90. If your income's higher, honestly, no lie, it goes up to about $350 per person. So a couple runs around $700 for both of them to get Part A for free and Part B to turn on. So you can always call your incredibly intelligent staff at Social Security. Their local phone number is 1-877-405-4874. Again, 877-405-4874. What they can do is they can advise you on what your Part B premium is and what to do about the premium and how to pay it. They usually will bill you quarterly or take it right out of your Social Security check. So that's come up a couple times this week in the boardroom. Coworker Gene, send me a text if you got the answer. Is it available as an SEP, a special enrollment period, if a couple of doctors are dropping out of your network when you have an Advantage plan? So shoot me a text on that. I know the answer, but I always like to be double sure before I go on the airwaves with that. Johnny Ken and I both disagree with the debt ceiling. You don't raise debt to pay off bills. They're not going to be able to pay the soldiers, the troops, aviation workers. I saw in that. That is ridiculous. You don't go more in debt to borrow, to go more in debt to borrow. The debt ceiling is what we're supposed to put as a threshold, not to go beyond. So it's just going to be cuts. I'm with you on that. We shouldn't do that. We will take the caller on line 1. And thanks for listening to the show. Michael Regan, how can I help you?
Hi, Michael. I wanted to ask about Social Security, but the marriage part of it.
Oh, outstanding, first of all. A friend of mine, no names, but a good couple friends of mine that I'm friends with in Oakville, Watertown area are so madly in love. They are the envy of me. I mean, I kiss my wife every day, grab her, get a nice huggy, kind of like, give her a good old smoochie. And this couple just leads by example. They love each other so much. And they're friends of mine. So they're clients of mine. They come in. And the gentleman's always asking me, look into it. Well, I looked into it half-assed first time. And then the second time, thank God, I went to the library, the Silas Bronson in Waterbury. And I got a book out. And in the book, I find that if you're over 60 and you were previously married for 10 years or longer, you actually do have the right to remarry. Is that what you found?
That's what I found.
Correct. All right, so explain. Don't say your name on the air, but explain this, because there's a lot of people that are widows out there that have found love, but they don't want to lose their widow's pension.
Okay.
So go ahead and explain what you found.
When I called Social Security, when I first signed up for Social Security, I was thinking about marriage.
Right.
But I was afraid to get married because I was afraid I was going to lose my widow's pension.
Right. And that is a big concern for people.
It certainly was, because he was making a heck of a lot more than I would have.
So the check obviously was bigger than you would have been collecting through Social Security.
That's correct.
Right?
And then I called Social Security a couple times just to verify it, and I was assured because I was over 66. I think the actual age was over 60 or 65.
60. It's in the book
60.
right here. Age 60 or above and married in the past for longer than 10 years.
That's correct. That's what they told me, and they assured me that I can remarry without losing my benefits.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that made me so happy. It sounds almost as happy as that couple in Oakville.
Well, you know what? They're good people, and looking forward to getting an invitation. I'm going to do a nice present. All right. It's a good listener. Thank you very much.
Well,
anyone out there that's in love.
I love listening to you.
It's just such a pleasure to have you listen. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. All right. So the scenario is the client's a friend of mine, and they're madly in love, and I just didn't want anything to happen. They have a real good story behind it. So the fact that this happened, it's just a beautiful thing. Caller on line 1, Michael Regan, how can I help you? Oh, Johnny K. Michael Regan, how can I help you?
Hi, Michael.
There you are. Awesome. This is the Agency on Aging, the guru, Daryl Willenbrock.
Aren't you nice?
Oh, so intelligent. I see you in the paper, by the way. Lovely photo of you at the Connecticut Insurance Exchange.
Yeah, that's my new thing to learn.
Yeah.
I'll probably be calling you.
You ready? Here it is. I got it. It's fat, too. I had my staff put these, like, binders in it. So every time I finish a couple chapters, I take it out. And it's sick what they're putting in this. It's not going to ever lower the cost. It's so expensive.
Really?
They're giving away the farm.
Well, I have to ask, is it cheaper than Charter Oak?
Yes, it will be cheaper than Charter Oak, and it's guaranteed issue. It'll just not be as quality of coverage. The cheaper plans, it's platinum, gold, silver, bronze. The bronze plan is going to be a high deductible HSA.
Okay.
So Kevin Cunahan, Victoria Veltri, and I are going to go around. And by the way, you made the round table, so you're going to be included. We're going to go around and do radio show spots throughout the state on certain airwaves to go over health insurance exchange, how they're going to work, explain the dry run, all this year, starting like right now through a year from now. You, maybe Dick Wood, Carla Maselli, but we'll all go around and give actual seminars how this is going to work.
Well, I want to do that, but I also want to make sure that Charter Oak actually, even though the premium, when you compare it to other plans, may not be that high, it's difficult for a lot of people that have bought it to find doctors that will take it.
And you know why that is, correct?
Right.
Okay, it's because of the low reimbursement rates. A form of Medicaid is the Charter Oak or the Husky plan in the state of Connecticut.
So I guess my question to you is, since now with the exchanges, will that change? Are there going to be at least more doctors that will take these plans?
Yes, there will be, because the carriers are going to fund the payment facility instead of the Medicaid trust. The Medicaid trust is the $16 million that the state of Connecticut got to set up the exchange.
Then I'm kind of hoping that the reality is going to be that it'll be better.
It's supposed to be better.
Right.
I don't have enough knowledge yet. Kevin and I have only met twice. By the way, the guys...
I don't have enough either.
Right. So the key is if we can get the Anthems, if we can get the Cignas, if we can get the Connecticares. Connecticare is actually, I read the minutes of the meeting, being courted by a carrier out of Boston. Harvard Pilgrim is looking at buying them. So we will have to see how that falls out. But Harvard Pilgrim is a Massachusetts connector carrier. Correct. So if you live in Massachusetts, I'm licensed in Massachusetts, you can go to www.theconnector.com in Mass, M-A, and you buy right from the connector.
Awesome.
Well, that'll be the same as it is. It's just going to be ConnecticutInsuranceExchange.com.
Okay.
Or he's kicking around the CT Insurance Exchange. Either one will take you to it for the search engine for the first year or two.
What's your simplest explanation of the Connecticut exchanges?
That
if you had to explain it to somebody in a few words.
That this is the first time someone with a pre-existing condition will be able to buy insurance without having a body part ridered out. Right now, if you buy from Golden Rule, which is the stinkiest insurance company in the state, Anthem, who's good, Connecticut Solo's good, and Aetna's great, but their reputation for underwriting is ridiculous. They will rider out your back if you ever even went to the chiropractor. If you had a strain playing football in high school on your knee, they'll rider out the whole leg. I mean, they're ridiculous. But the state of Connecticut allows until December 31st, 2012, for the carrier to selectively rate up right now. They are not always denying you. They can deny you, but they can rate it up, and they will rate it up so high that it's really not as affordable as the first quote was. So what's happening is they are saying, okay, you have had a reconstructive knee surgery. We're not going to cover anything regarding to your knee or anything related to it. In 2014, January 1st, you'll be able to just go click a button on the internet. Hopefully you'll buy from me because I may be one of the exchange enrollment centers for Waterbury.
Good.
And you'll be able to buy insurance on a guaranteed issue basis, which is sweet for my diabetics out there.
Right.
For my patients who have DNA that's just not healthy. Unfortunately, I might have some unhealthy DNA, but we'll find out about that later. But anyway, the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, it's your body composition. So it's not necessarily your fault that you have a pre-existing condition. It could just be DNA.
Right.
Like
exactly.
severe cholesterol.
I actually have one.
Right. Rheumatoid arthritis. Now in this book that I'm reading, rheumatoid arthritis is the largest growing population for getting disability for qualifying for it.
Okay.
So it's an XY chromosome problem. It's an autoimmune problem. You didn't wake up and say, I can't wait to get rheumatoid arthritis today. So that will be a nice thing. The people that can't get insurance
will be able to get insurance.
And also, they pay my salary, so I don't discriminate. Everyone in Waterbury that has a little bit of an economic problem, which unfortunately this is a city and we are surrounded by some low-income subsidies people, which is referred to as LIS, they will be able to qualify for a stipend towards the premium. So depending on their level, 1, 2, 3, or 4, if you're a 4, you're going to get Husky A for free. You'll pay literally like $37 a month for your care. Okay. Level 2 is about $110. Level 3 is almost a full premium of $400. And then level 4 is you just get a slight 8% discount off the $500 or $600 premium. So it also will be age banded. It'll go from 0 to 30. So anything over 19, because you lose Husky. 19-year-old to 30 will be able to buy it. 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50. There'll be 5 or 10-year age increment brackets. So the younger you are, the healthier you are, the cheaper the insurance. Right on. But what I'm loving the fact that you're calling in on today is, please touch on your beautiful
benzodiazepines?
Yeah, no, just in general, you take it away. This is your commercial. The WC AAA has a commercial on WATR. It's a 30-second spot. It's Carla Maselli's spot. And talk about the beautiful new things that are coming to Medicare for 2014.
Okay.
All right.
One thing I wanted to mention is benzodiazepines and barbiturates.
Okay.
Prior to 2013, they were not covered. And they were excluded from your Part D plan, and you had to pay for them.
Excluded from the formulary.
Right.
Right.
So now they're going to be included, as long as it's for the following reasons. Your barbiturates have to be for epilepsy, cancer, or chronic mental health disorder. And then it can be included on the formulary. If your doctor prescribes it for smoking cessation, it probably won't be covered.
No, it won't. Like the Wellbutrin XL, you mean? That's a good one. Yeah, it's got to be one of the others.
But most of the benzodiazepines are going to be covered. That includes Xanax, Klonopin, Valium, Ativan. All of those that were not covered in the past are now on formularies. One of the problems we've noticed this year when we started doing the new ones is that a lot of the brand name drugs aren't covered.
Right.
So you need to be on generics. And if you're not, we ask you to talk to your doctor about finding perhaps another drug that'll be beneficial for you, because it can get pricey if you're only in the brand name bracket.
Okay.
So we do ask people to look at that. There's a few more preventative screenings this year. Medicare now covers depression screenings. It covers screenings for alcohol misuse and obesity. It covers behavioral therapy for cardiovascular disease. And there are many more that you can check in the Medicare and You book, which we still have copies here. So if people out there do not have the book, tell them to call here, and we'd be happy to get it for them.
And that was actually in the budget for the Medicare bill, that it was mandatory that CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, mailed one to every eligible household. So instead of every person getting it, it went to a household this time. So if you didn't get it, just simply stop by the Agency on Aging.
And we'll get it for you.
Love it.
Okay.
All right, talk about also the other beautiful benefit. Someone falls into the coverage gap. They've exhausted $2,930 worth of drug costs and of co-payments. People don't realize that. It's the co-payments and the cost, the actual ingredient cost of the drug. So someone falls into the donut hole, and what's the good news for 14?
So for this year, you'll pay only 47.5% for covered brand name drugs and 79% for generic drugs.
Okay, so that means...
So it's going to go down a little bit.
Beautiful. It's 52.5%.
We hope it's heading towards 2020 when it'll disappear altogether.
That means the coverage gap will go away.
Right.
Love
and then we just wanted to let people remember that in case you said, wow, my check is different, their Part B premium went up a little bit. Most of you got an increase, but the Part B premium now for most people is $104.40.
And there's a fantastic plan if they haven't enrolled. How would they get that back, and what are the income limits?
The Medicare savings plan.
We love it. It's such a win-win. My clients come in, they get so excited. They're like, I got the silver card.
I know. It's just, I mean, this is the best plan that's ever.
Hands down.
Yes.
It was better than ConPay, so it was nothing but a bonus.
God, yes.
Right on.
So if you make under $3,127.28 if you are a couple, or $2,308.88 if you are a single.
Okay, remember, this is a good time oldies show. This is a good time oldies show. Slow it down. 2308.88 for a single.
And 3127.28 if you're a couple.
Awesome.
And just remember to include one thing. When you're figuring out your monthly income, you have to add the Part B premium back in.
Correct. You have to add
your money.
the $1,248 now.
Right.
So let me just calculate that to be exact. 104.90 times 12, 1258.80. That is a major problem where the client says, oh, well, this is my Social Security check, 709. No. It's 809 plus 4, so 813. It's not 709.
Right, because you're purchasing Part B. That's an option that you have.
Correct.
Not really, because you'll pay a penalty if you don't have it.
A monster one, and your coverage will start in July if any of you slackers out there.
Right. So you want to get Part B, but you are buying it. It is a commodity that you're purchasing. It's not just something that the government takes or gives to you.
No, the government gives you A for free.
And that's it.
You've earned Part B by paying for it.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else you have on the agenda?
I don't.
All right. That's Daryl Willenbrock with the Agency on Aging. I cannot thank you enough.
To you, Michael.
Always a pleasure to hear your voice.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Johnny K's telling me it's time for a commercial break. We'll be back. Enjoy the jazz.